Now I know why the only thing I can shoot in color are flowers. And you, of course.
She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. She loves me.
You sure you want me hanging around here every day?
Yes.
That's because you're crazy in love with me.
Can one woman's passion sweep aside the folly of man? Can a woman in love defy the stupidity of mankind? That's the story. What is the most important theme of this new century, of this century? Are they enough well-intentioned men and women to counter the extremes of the world?
I mean, it's amazing that we got things in the can sometimes, the way we were just pushing. I mean, we pushed so hard, and you had so many different elements that were involved. I mean, you had all the stunts, you had explosions, you had actors, you had hit marks, you had many actors quite often in a scene. I had to work on this movie, you know, since the end of September. I started actually physically preparing for the movie, and it's a long time to have to constantly be going to an emotional place. I mean, to your gut, to having your gut feelings day after day after day of doing that. So, I mean, I'm completely drained right now, and part of the reason is not just the hours, but the fact that every day was a difficult day, because emotionally I had to search inside of myself to feel what Sarah would be feeling. So that was fatiguing, if anything.
Well, do you think you're going to arrive at the airport and call a taxi? Take me to Vukovar, please. This is a war we have here. A real war.
I mean, look at it. I tell you what, you go over there and you say, you know what, Sarah, there's no use hoping. Your husband's already dead. Okay, do it. If you got the balls, because I don't.
A situation like Yugoslavia, although, you know, half a world away from the United States, seemingly doesn't affect people. That's why there's been very little in-depth coverage of it in films, in theater, in the media. There hasn't been the depth of coverage that exists out there. But films like this can prove how connected it is, how the world can be connected by taking the Harrison Lloyd family and all the other journalists and putting them right into the situation that immediately they're affected by something, you know, a half a world away. And the fact that Harrison becomes a victim and his family becomes a victim and almost every journalist involved becomes a victim, they cross the line into the horror of the war, and it does, if the film succeeds on that level, it will be great.
I think sometimes there's a truth of the imagination that supersedes the actuality of something, and that you have to be true to the truth of the imagination as well as, you know, look at the actuality. But in something like war, it's important for people to see the truth, the actual truth, as well as, you know, to follow the journey and the truth of the journey of the characters. I think it's important for people to witness it.
The thing that appealed to me so much was the actual love story and the way it was told, the way it unfolded. I mean, it's told through so many different people's eyes, and I think that was really interesting. Other people's perspective of who these people are and how much they love each other. I thought that was really interesting. I really didn't even think about the complexity or the difficulty of the war when I read it, because I was so interested in love story.
Catharanthus roseus, Madagascar pink periwinkle. Never seen one of these before. It's beautiful and a lifesaver, just like you.
You know, when you see these things or you think about these things, you don't even know why you even have children, to bring them into a world where things exist like this. I mean, I know that for me, life is having children, so I had to have children, otherwise I really don't even want to be here. But at the same time, I feel a deep sense of responsibility for bringing children into a world where people can be so cruel.
But the responsibility is to ask ourselves whether this generation and the next generation will be able to preserve the peace. Peace at home, of course, but also peace among those who no longer want peace, well, I mean, in the country where extremists exist, among those who have decided that their life will revolve around violence. This is why I'm a great fan, believer in the right to intervene.
I know a guy who died, Lloyd. By Fred Leroy. He got bumped off in Yugoslavia.
I know.
Yeah, well, no one gives a shit about that. Because he was a fucking tiny, tiny little photographer. In a tiny little country, taking pictures of a tiny little war. You're up there. You're fancy, you and the others.
You disappear like the sun in the sea. Just when love starts to shine on me, you disappear. You disappear like the light from my soul, leaving nothing but this burning cold inside. You disappear like the sight from my eyes, turning my days into nightmares full of lies. Tell me who needs you more than I do. Why can't believe the truth? Just wanna be with you. I can't believe that hope is gone. Nothing will stop a love so strong. Oh, I can't believe it's true. Just wanna be with you. I can't believe that hope is lost. But we no matter what the cost, 'cause I just